Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So we are 10 days away from the 2022 midterms. We are getting closer and closer to the election where Republicans will be vying to retake the House, retake the Senate, and potentially retake some of these governorships across the country that they currently don't hold. In today's video, we're going to be focusing on the House elections. We're not going to be doing another House prediction for about another week until just before the midterms actually take place. But I still wanted to do some additional House analysis. I did a video a couple weeks ago about 10 House seats that I believe are going to be nearly guaranteed to flip into the Republican column this cycle. And in this video, I would like to cover another 10 seats and do a little bit of analysis of seats that will also be likely to flip this cycle, because more than 10 seats will flip. Flipping 10 seats would be enough to get Republicans the House outright. And in this video, I'm not going to be covering obvious flips due to redistricting. Obviously, there's going to be some redistricting that will take effect into why some of these seats may flip, but I'm not going to do, cover some of these drastic seats where you see it go from like D+3 to R+20 or whatever, as we've seen in places like in North Florida. In one of those districts there, the Lawson district. But nevertheless, we are going to dive into this, and we're going to cover 10 seats that are also likely to flip. But first, I have to tell you guys about my good friends over at My Patriot Supply, because the world is getting more and more dangerous with every passing day. It's time to make sure your family is prepared for severe food shortages ahead. That's why My Patriot Supply is going the extra mile to make their emergency food as affordable as possible, and they're taking $250 off their 3-month emergency food kit, which is the minimum your family should have. It provides delicious, easy-to-make breakfasts, lunches, dinners, drinks, and snacks for one person for 3 months. Get one for every member of your family while you're able to save $250 during this timely sale, which ends soon. Remember that My Patriot Supply is the nation's largest preparedness company with millions of families already protected. These 3-month kits are in stock and ready to go. Your order ships fast and free and arrives in unmarked boxes for your privacy. Go to preparewithredeagle.com. Those who know what's coming are using today to prepare. Are you? Go to preparewithredeagle.com. So we're going to be covering these 10 additional House seats. We're going to be going in alphabetical order here. We're going to start off in the state of California. We're going to be going down to California's 49th district, which is a seat that I initially did not anticipate to flip for the Republicans. But as more data and more scandals have come out, Mike Levin is in quite a bit of trouble here. Fundraising for this district is not really going his way, which speaks volumes for a Biden plus 11 seat. We've seen very low Democrat turnout so far in the early vote compared to all of the other competitive California seats. We know that Levin has been under fire for offending veterans. He also has said on multiple occasions that he supports raising taxes, and it's really not looking good for him. And he's even asking AOC to come and bail him out, which is absolutely laughable. But keep in mind that on off year, not just off year, but midterm elections, that California tends to be a little bit more Republican than the state is at presidential elections. That, coupled with probably about a 7-point swing in the national environment or so, should be enough to give Brian Marriott a slight advantage in the 49th district. I think that that one is going to flip. So we're going to be going down to the state of Florida. And this one, there has been some changes due to redistricting, but we are going to be covering it anyways because the change was not super drastic. In Florida's 7th district was around, less than 10 points or so to the right. But this is still a Trump plus 5 seat. Stephanie Murphy is not running for re-election in this district. She probably would lose it if she would have ran. And it is very apparent that Corey Mills is going to win. He has a massive fundraising advantage. Karen Green isn't even really campaigning, and just redistricting alone is going to be a big piece of the puzzle here to put this one in the Republican column, possibly by a safe margin. Corey Mills is somebody I anticipate could end up being a grifter. He moved vastly to the right compared to his past record in his primary, but he also slandered the great Anthony Sabatini in the process in his way to victory there. So we'll monitor him in the House, but he is more likely than not going to flip that district Republican. So we are now going down to the state of Indiana. Indiana's first congressional district. Indiana's typically had two blue districts. They have that blue district around Indianapolis, that's Andre Carson's seat, and then they have that Northwest district there that's kind of like the part of the Chicago metro that's in the state of Indiana, and that district has Gary, Hammond, a lot of those cities. And that district's region has been losing population. It is still a Rust Belt district, and the white and to a much lesser extent the Hispanic voters in that district have been moving to the right over the past couple election cycles. The district moved to the right in 2020. The white voters that live there are very blue collar. It's a working class district, and we're probably going to be seeing lower minority turnout overall because it is a midterm year. Jennifer Ruth Green, the Republican nominee for that district, is fundraising very well. Frank Mervan is somebody that is under fire for the way that he's been campaigning. He, went around her back, tried to get access to her military records, tried to expose her. Turns out there was nothing to expose, and he just exposed the fact that she got assaulted in the military. It made him look like a piece of trash in the grand scheme of things. Jennifer Ruth Green, as a congresswoman, I'm not entirely sure how she will govern. She tends to be somebody that plays identity politics a lot for a Republican, not really that fond of that, but either way, I think that this district is going to flip at the end of the day, and Mervan is going to lose his seat, and you will see that there in the state of Indiana. So we're now going down to one of my home states, the state of Michigan here. We covered the Slotkin seat in the last Big Ten video that we did. In this video, we're going to be covering Dan Kildee because I believe that Dan Kildee is next up on the docket to lose his seat in the state of Michigan. He has represented that area that runs from Flint up to Saginaw for quite some time. It voted heavily for Obama twice. However, Trump did much better there. And this is a district that voted for Biden by just 2%. You swing the national environment to the right, that would be enough to sink Kildee alone, but his record as of late has been under scrutiny. He does have a slight fundraising advantage. However, the ads against him are brutal. He supported reparations. He's called the filibuster Jim Crow in a swing district, and he also wants 16-year-olds to vote. He's not exactly going to be the strongest candidate. It still should be close because his name is a big name in the district and a big name in the state, but I think that this is the year that Kildee is finally going to go down. Also, that district has been trending to the right, just like Indiana's district has been trending to the right. Actually, we forgot a district. We have to go all the way back to Illinois here and cover the 17th district. We skipped one here. And this is the 17th district. They did the mander, the dummy mander, one could say, because you have so many Democrat seats. The map looks like spaghetti, pouring outside of Chicago, that if the national environment moves to the right enough, the dam will break, and a lot of those seats are just going to be ending up going Republican, despite the fact that the map was drawn to benefit the Democrats so much. And I don't know if we're going to see this in like the 13th district or the 14th. Maybe you could see a flip there if the night is much better for Republicans than expected, but I'm not going to say that it's guaranteed. But I do believe the 17th district will flip. It's a district that voted for Biden by less than 8 points and has been trending to the right there in the 17th, and just moving the national environment, couple that with trends between 2020 and 2022, that'd be enough to flip the seat red. If it was an open seat, which is exactly what it is because Sherry Bustis is not running for re-election. Eric Sorensen, the Democrat nominee, all he does is play identity politics about, I'm going to be a gay congressman. That's all he does, and it's not working for him. The guy is being outspent or outraised as well, 2-1 by Esther Joy King. I don't know exactly how she'll govern if she gets in there, but either way, I do believe that this seat is going to flip at the end of the day because that is how awful Sorensen's campaign has been run, and because of the trends and the dummy mander in the state of Illinois. So we're going to go down to Minnesota. We're going to go to the 2nd district here, one of the few competitive districts on this map. And this was a very close election last time between Angie Craig and Tyler Kistner. Don't be fooled by the president margin. Yes, it voted for Biden by 7, but Craig only got by 2. Why is that? Because there was a Legal Marijuana Now party member that took a large share of the vote that happened to pass away before the election. What happened this time? There's also a Legal Marijuana Now party member who's on the ticket who also has passed away. It's a cursed seat there, at least for the Legal Marijuana Now party. Spending is about even. It's possible we could see some coattails as well in this district because of the fact that Republicans might be doing better at the top of the ticket at the governor's race than Trump did in 2020 in the state. But either way, I do believe that just moving the national environment to the right should be enough to get Kistner over the hump and get him the victory in the 2nd district in the state of Minnesota. So we're about to go down one state, go down to the state of Nevada here. Down into the Vegas area. Here in the 3rd Congressional District, it's possible all 3 of these could flip Republican, and another dummy mander done by the very incompetent new Nevada Democrats. But either way, Susie Lee, I think, is arguably the most vulnerable, so we'll focus on her. Spending is about even when you factor in the outside spending. The Las Vegas Review-Journal endorsed Becker. They did not endorse every single Republican that's running for Congress, even though the newspaper does tend to have, center-right leaning or whatever. And you just look at trends in the district. You look at coattails, we'll see. We'll probably see Lombardo do very well in that district. Laxalt could very well take that district. The fact that the Democrat apparatus of the party is awful, tried to primary out their representatives and couldn't even, match the totals that were done the last time that there were primary challengers that received less backing. And the early vote looks pretty good for the Republicans so far. I'm thinking that the 3rd district is going to flip Republican and Susie Lee will go down and April Becker will end up winning in that particular district. So we're going to go down to the state of New York. The state of New York here, where we know that Lee Zeldin's probably going to have some coattails because he's going to outperform vastly. I'm not even going to say that he's favored to win or defeat Kathy Hochul in the governor's race, but either way, he will have coattails regardless, and that is going to help congressional Republicans, no doubt. So we're going to focus on the 19th district, which is currently held by Pat Riley. It was held by a Democrat before that. However, they redrew the districts a little bit here. As we know it, and it's different now in terms of the partisan makeup of the 19th that we see here. This is a district where Mark Molinaro will be running, and again, this time against Josh Riley. Pat Ryan will go to a much more Democratic nearby district. This district here in a full turnout election, because we know the special election, we know what happened there. You saw the fact that white working class voters didn't really turn out that much because it was during the primary, and also the fact that you had to know to request a separate ballot in order to vote in that district in many instances, which definitely inflated the Democrat margins, one could say. But either way, funding's about even. You look at redistricting, you look at Zeldin's coattails. I'm thinking that Molinaro is going to get over the hump in the 19th district there, possibly by even a lean margin due to shifts in the national environment there, coupled with the coattails. So we're going to go down to Ohio, the state of Ohio here, where there's several districts that are competitive. Republicans are probably going to hold the 1st. They're probably going to hold the 13th as well. The 9th district is actually held by a Democrat currently. The district is drawn differently than the last district. And either way, this is a Trump district now. It is R+3. J.R. Majewski is the Republican nominee. He is somebody who is a grassroots fighter. He had a scandal, a quote-unquote scandal, where people said that he, held things in his military record private that they wanted public and lied about it, which is not entirely what happened, but either way, the House Republican Committee pulled funding. Shocker. They don't like him because he's an outsider. He's a threat to the establishment. But Trump is coming in clutch with the Trump bucks and funding him. And I think with trends, you look at this district is going to be immune to that scandal. They don't really care that much about it, trust me. You're talking about Toledo, you're talking about rural Ohio west of Toledo, and a lot of the areas that are southeast of Toledo that happen to be heavily Obama, Trump counties, those places are going to come home for Majewski. Majewski kind of represents that voter very well. Captor's been there for a while. I think that with trends that we'll see here in the state of Ohio, you look at the coattails, we'll see down ballot. Vance will do well there. DeWine should probably win that easily. I think you're going to see Majewski defeat Captor. It's also a Trump district. It was Trump +3 and a D+4 year. We could be looking at an R+4, R+5 year even. And you think that Captor is going to be favored? No, I really don't think so. This scandal's not going to impact him too much in that district. That district cares more about policy. We're going to be going down to the state of Pennsylvania here for our final district that is in the guaranteed flips column, and we're going to be going down to the Matt Cartwright district, a district that voted for Trump by 3 points in a D+4 national environment. Cartwright barely got by against Bognet last time. I think that Bognet's going to pull it off this time. It's pretty easy to see why. We covered the Wild Scheller race in the last video. I believe that it's a very similar thing here. Cartwright has been an institution there for a while, but he's definitely shown vulnerability in the past. You know, it was within a couple of points in 2018 and then in 2020. I think Bognet is going to get over the finish line this time. It's very possible that you look at this district here. Dr. Oz did very well there in the primary. He could do very well there in the general. You talk about the coattails and how they could affect down ballot races. You talk about the partisan lean. It's a district that votes to the right of the country at the presidential level by 7 percentage points. So you're talking about Cartwright overcoming a 12-point swing, especially when fundraising is about even when you consider outside spending. No, I think Bognet has got this. I think that district is going to flip, and you will see that one flip as well. So we talk about these districts flipping. I believe that all the districts listed are going to flip. Republicans are going to gain probably around 30 seats in the House. They could gain even more. This is as of right now, but either way, the national environment swinging hard to the right. Republicans are energized. They're going to get out and vote. I encourage everybody to get out and vote ahead of the midterms, and we will get this red wave done. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.